Let's transpose the major scale along the circle of fifths in the other direction. Here's the C major scale again. Like I said in the previous lecture, by building scales in tetrachords, we can build new scales that systematically progress in their deviation from the white keys. And in the previous lecture, we saw how sharp notes come into our scale as we refunctionalize the upper tetrachord as the lower. This time, we will introduce flat notes into our scale by refunctionalizing the lower tetrachord as the upper. Take the lower tetrachord and build a new scale with it as the upper tetrachord. To make the whole step, half step series work, that is to make the scale major, we need to lower scale degree 4. If we don't invoke B flat, our interval series is not right. We need it to be whole step, half step for the scale to be major. When we reassign the tetrachord that was earlier the lower tetrachord but is now the upper tetrachord, we have refunctionalized it. We changed the functions of its scale degrees. In C major, they were scale degrees 1, 2, 3, 4. In the new scale, F major, they are scale degrees 5, 6, 7, 1. Let's see what happens when we repeat the process with our new F major scale. Take the lower tetrachord and build a new scale with it as the upper tetrachord. To make the whole step, half step series work, that is to make the scale major, we need to lower scale degree 4 again. The new scale is B flat major, and the subdominant is E flat. Notice that in this process, we retained the earlier alteration, B flat. Let's do it again from this scale. Take the lower tetrachord and build a new scale with it as the upper tetrachord. To make the whole step, half step series work, that is to make the scale major, we need to lower scale degree 4 again. The new scale is E flat major and the subdominant is A flat. Notice that in this process we retained the earlier alterations B flat and E flat. The further we go from C major in this way, the more flat notes from the keyboard come into our scale. In this scale, there are 3 alterations, all flat, and each was scale degree 4 at some point in the process. In lecture number 1, we emphasized the importance of scale degrees as they express functionality and context. In the context of the circle of fifths, notice the pattern at work in terms of the scale degrees. When we built scales, each transposed by a fifth, that introduced sharp notes, the new sharp always landed on scale degree 7, F sharp in G major, C sharp in D major, and G sharp in A major. When we built scales that introduced flat notes, the new flat always landed on scale degree 4, B flat in F major, E flat in B flat major, A flat in E flat major. Now, this process reveals fundamental properties of the circle of fifths. The systematic altering of scale degrees 7 and 4 is not symptomatic of some magical property of the circle of fifths. They are the reason for the circle of fifths. The circle of fifths as we know it is the result of properties from the scale. In the next lecture, we lay out the circle of fifths plainly.